Hi friends, I'm Chelsea Grayson coming to you once again from the Office of the CEO. This is my show where I can help you be more successful in your current career, and I can also help you successfully transition to a new career. So for the past couple of episodes, we've been talking about how to successfully transition to a new career when that new career is starting your own business or company. And even more specifically, we've been talking about how to put together a business plan. So in the last episode, we briefly touched on how to draft your mission statement, potentially a separate vision statement, and then core values. And I mentioned in that episode that you would place that at the very front of your business plan, and sometimes it would go in the executive summary. So today we're going to dig a little bit deeper into the executive summary. Now, again, like I said previously, it might include your mission and vision statements and core values. It might not. But more specifically, the executive summary is really a roadmap to how the rest of the business plan is going to lay out, minus any of the threats and weaknesses that you'll talk about later on in your competitive analysis and your SWOT analysis, which we all know because I've mentioned it several times, is your strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat analysis. Now, the executive summary is similar to the vision and mission statements, supposed to be optimistic, not necessarily dreamy throughout, but certainly it's supposed to express an optimistic view of the vision for the company, and more specifically, the need for the company and how this company is going to address that need. Now, a lot of people say that you should just put a placeholder for the executive summary at the beginning and then go on and write the rest of your business plan and then come back to your executive summary at the end, because the executive summary, their point is that the executive summary is just extrapolating points that you now will have written in the body of your business plan. I go about mine in a totally different way when I'm drafting my business plans. I actually do draft the entire executive summary first, and then I move on to the rest of the business plan for a couple of different reasons. You're getting at it with fresh eyes, right? You're getting at it with fresh vigor, with new energy. You're really passionate about drafting this plan. You know, when you get to the end of drafting your entire business plan, which is probably going to take you weeks, if not a month, to really put the first raw cut together, you're going to be exhausted. You're going to be a little bit burnt out. You might be sick of the whole thing, not the business, but you'll be sick of drafting it. The last thing you're going to want to do at that point is go put the executive summary in. And that's unfortunate because it's the very first thing most people read when they open the business plan. And a lot of times people don't get much deeper into the rest of the plan. They'll take a look at the executive summary. They might flip through the rest, take a look at some pretty charts and graphs. We're going to get to the prettiness of charts and graphs in a later episode and why they're necessary. But they might not dig so deep into the rest of the business plan. So you really want to make the executive summary punchy. You want to draft it with alert fingers and alert eyes and a very alert brain. You want to draft it when you're still very passionate about the drafting process. You don't want to do it when you're burnt out. Because again, it's a beautiful marketing piece at the beginning. It's very optimistic. It's meant to get the reader very excited about there's a problem and here's a great solution. And again, you want to come to that not with tired eyes and with tired hands and with tired brain. The second reason that I generally put the executive summary together first instead of just putting a placeholder and coming back to it at the end is because, again, I am approaching it with a fresh brain. And for me, it's when I actually describe the business and I describe the purpose of the business and I describe the methods of the business the most beautifully. I put the best language, I'm being the most creative. And once I lay all of that out, a little bit of the pressure is alleviated for me because I know that as I work my way through the other parts of the business plan, I'm not worried if I come to a place where I'm at a loss for words, if I'm not quite sure how to describe something, if I sort of forget where I wanted to put this piece of the puzzle, I can go back to my executive summary. I can get a jump start by stealing some language from the executive summary. I can rejigger myself back to, all right, this was the roadmap, this was the flow, this is where everything was supposed to be, this is how everything was supposed to be put together. And it'll sort of jumpstart me out of that kind of writer's block, for lack of a better way of describing it. So it's a really good way of jumpstarting you if you get to a dead end in the rest of your business plan. So let me just briefly talk about what the executive summary is, right? Like I said, it's optimistic, it's a marketing piece, it's the thing most people are going to hit first, and they might not dig deeper into the rest of the plan. You want to show generally, look, there's a problem in the market, there's some issue out there, people need a solution to it. To the extent that there are other solutions out there that are being provided in the marketplace already, they're deficient in X, Y, and Z ways, and that your company is going to fill that niche or provide better service or better product so that it will correct the deficiencies in the market. Somehow show or make a statement that market research has shown that the market is not actually oversaturated with people that are providing products or service to fill this niche or provide a solution to that particular problem. And then you want to briefly describe how your products and or services do actually address this issue and how they uniquely address this issue or how they better address this issue. So it's probably going to be no more than 2 pages at the very longest. You want to keep this relatively short. But again, it's going to provide a really beautiful roadmap for the reader to say, oh man, okay, there is a problem. I either knew about this or now I'm learning about it, and it does seem like it's a problem. The market is not saturated. This company has a solution. Here's how this company will beat out its competitors, or at least here's how this company will sufficiently sit side by side with its competitors in order to generate revenue for the company. So there is a market for the product or services that this company is bringing to the market. And that's it. An executive summary, again, it can sometimes be the hardest section to write because it is supposed to be relatively short and pithy and substantive, and because it's supposed to be punchy and it is more of a marketing piece than the rest of the business plan. It does set the tone for the rest of the business plan, as I talked about in the last episode, because it generally includes the mission statement and the vision statement of the company. It's very important. So like I said, I think you ought to tackle it first, and then you can always go back to it as a guidepost when you're writing the rest of the business plan. So please go ahead and let me know in the comments what you liked about this episode. Tell me any other issues you think that I ought to tackle surrounding this particular part of the business plan. I do love reading your comments. I'm definitely taking them into consideration in terms of putting future episodes together. And please be sure and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any future episodes. And I'll see you next time from the Office of the CEO.